Good morning, everyone. Welcome to River Flow Yoga Virtual. Oh, don't know if that just stopped. I'll say it again. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rhonda Uretsky from River Flow Yoga here and coming to you here from Lambertville, New Jersey. We do have a studio in Lambertville, New Jersey. It is closed for your health and safety. Boy, that's a new thing for me to be able to say yoga is closed for your health and safety. But yoga isn't closed, only our studio is. I'm bringing you yoga right here, live, virtually from my home studio. So I'm glad to have you here with me this morning. This is our Soulful Stretch class. So this is a yoga that is deeply held in really beautiful stretches and designed to soothe your body and calm your mind. Now, the truth is, I've been teaching and practicing yoga and mindfulness for over 45 years now, and I have never found a yoga that doesn't calm your mind and soothe you, even if it's a very vigorous practice. The practice of yoga itself has to do with, hatha yoga, the practice of hatha yoga has to do with moving your body, but also being very mindful of your breath. Breathing in very deep, really full breaths is one of the most powerful ways to calm your nervous system. And let's face it, who can't use a calmer nervous system these days? Ooh, I did forget to check my volume. Give me one moment. Let me make sure you can hear me. Yep, you can. I want to start out by just acknowledging you guys. Whatever it is that you happen to be feeling now or at any given moment, I would love for you to just let yourself off the hook. You could be fine for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden one day you just wake up upset or sad or angry, or you find your patience running thin, or you yell at somebody that you wish you hadn't. Let yourself off the hook. We are literally experiencing a lot of what therapists are saying a kind of post-traumatic stress right now. Only it's not post-trauma yet. We are still in the midst of the trauma. So you might find yourself in, fight or flight mode when you're faced with some situation that you have to handle. And then afterwards you might feel the stress of it. And again, sometimes you just wake up in the morning feeling whatever. Angry or upset. Maybe you had a great night's sleep and you still wake up feeling not like yourself. There are a lot of things out there right now that are not like themselves. So again, I just want to give you permission. If you need anyone to give you permission, I want to be that person that gives you permission to let yourself off the hook. All right? You, me, the entire world, we're going through something very dramatic. And from day to day, we don't know what that new drama is going to look like. Literally, what you knew yesterday could be completely opposite today. Not just changed a little bit, although that's possible. Not just altered a little bit, although that's possible. But in many cases, completely opposite. What you thought you knew yesterday is completely turned upside down today. That's a lot to deal with, especially for humans, right? We like our little comfortable places. We like our little places of routine and things being the same. And I am not maligning comfort in any way. I'm a big fan of comfort. I think soothing yourself is a wonderful art. Self-care is a practice and a beautiful one. And I'd like to see more people really see it that way, as beautiful, not something you have to take time away from something that's more productive in order to do. But we do like our routines. We do tend to fall into those routines. And when we fall into those daily routines of doing things a certain way, we get accustomed to thinking that that's the way life is. It's static, right? It's got this basic rhythm to it that has to do with what time you wake up and what you eat for breakfast and what time you have to be at work and how many things are on your to-do list. And we begin to feel like that is life. Morning, Kathleen. And again, for many of us, for a lot of years, that has been your life. But right now you're getting a little glance behind the velvet curtain, right? You're getting a little chance to peek at something that has been there all along, but that you haven't really focused on, not through any fault of your own, just not really taken time or taken the opportunity or been able to pull the curtain back in any other way. Then right now, where you get to see that all of those things, all of those little rules and rituals and beliefs and thought processes that you overlaid onto this thing we call life were just your little rules and rituals and beliefs and thought processes. They can change. They will change. And you can be the one who changes them. And if conditions change around you that cause you to need to change those rules or rituals or beliefs, you can still do it. And maybe in the doing of it, in the letting go of what you thought your life was, you get to expand into what you actually want your life to be. Now that's a hard thing to hear if what you're going through right now is hard times, right? If you're somebody who is feeling the loss of income or the inability to take a walk outside or fear about going to the store to buy groceries, which are necessary for yourself and your family. It can be a hard thing to hear right now that, oh, this is a great opportunity for you. So that's okay. You don't have to hear it that way. But you are in a position to recognize that things are different. And you actually have a choice, which is to lose your mind and sort of, go insane over it, or let the stress eat away at you, or to take a step back and take a deep breath, right? I'm not asking you to look at this as a great gift or a great blessing. I know there's lots of stuff out there on the internet telling everybody that this is a great blessing, this is a great moment for you, this is your chance to learn something new. Okay, I think one of my least favorite memes out there is the one that says, if you haven't come out of this crisis having learned a new skill or taken up a new hobby or started a new business, then you weren't doing enough. I think that's dangerous thinking. I think that's the kind of thinking that puts you into a state of self-judgment and stresses you to keep up. And actually what this time might be telling you is, maybe it's okay to pull the velvet curtain back now and actually decide which things you want to keep up with, despite what everybody else is telling you to do, and which things you're ready to let go of. And I would like to, again, sometimes you just need someone to give you permission to let yourself off the hook. So here it is. Consider this permission to be who you are. Let yourself off the hook for thinking you have to be what everybody else expects you to be, even what your own judgmental mind has expected you to live up to. Just, off the hook, right? And maybe you can let everybody else off the hook too. Everybody who you feel didn't fulfill your expectations, or now is living in your house and isn't pulling their weight, or isn't doing their homework, or isn't sending you your loan money fast enough. Let's just let everybody off the hook, even if it's just for this time that we're going to be practicing yoga together. Okay, maybe that's the new thing. Maybe yoga is the practice of letting yourself off the hook first. And I think that from that position of being gentle and kind to yourself, you'll begin to feel that way towards others naturally, without having to force yourself to, or to do it because it makes you a good person, just because it feels better for you. Find a comfortable position to sit or lie down. You can sit in a chair. I'm going to go through all the seated positions that I like. You can sit on the floor. I like to sit on a cushion, which is what I'm doing right now. If you're accustomed to sitting on the floor, this might feel great. If you're not, it might not. So sit in a chair. And if you sit in a chair, go ahead and sit back a little bit. And if you're sitting on the floor, lean back just a little bit, only because we all have a tendency to do this, like to lean forward. Go ahead and lean back. Allow yourself to have that relaxed feeling. If you're lying on the floor, allow yourself to sink into the floor. Find a comfortable position for your hands. Sometimes I like to keep my hands in my lap, palms facing up, thumbs touching, elbow tips dropped. Sometimes I like to let my wrists be on my knees with my palms up, and sometimes palms down, elbow tips dropped towards your hips. And lying on the floor, arms would be at your sides with your palms facing up. So as we start this practice, I'm going to make this sort of what my friend Mary calls the arrival of the practice. I'd like you to just check in for a moment. And if your emotions were on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, if your level of feeling agitated was on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being you're dropping off to sleep and 10 being you're really upset, what number might you give yourself right now? So you can put your number in the comments box if you want. Sometimes it's just sort of nice to express it to somebody, but mostly this is for you. We are just checking in on where we are right now, each of us, and having a moment of just accepting it. Not feeling like I should be lower or higher in the numbers, not even justifying why your number is what it is. Just accept it. This is what you feel. Now, from this place, let's start some breathing. So sitting up straight, which means here's the easiest tip and the best tip you'll ever get for how to align your spine and sit up straight. Pull your collarbones wide apart. I'm going to see if I can show you what it feels like or what it looks like. So here I'm sitting up straight, right? I'm still sitting and my spine feels straight to me, and I feel like I'm relatively straight. But when I pull my collarbones wide apart, now I'm not thrusting my chest forward, I'm not dragging my shoulders back behind me, I'm just pulling side to side. Can you see the difference? And more importantly, can you feel the difference? Can you feel the opening that happens across your chest, where your heart and your lungs are? So now when you take a deep breath, you're going to feel like you can really fill up. So go ahead and draw your collarbones wide apart, as if you're trying to make a really strong straight line out of your collarbones, as if you could balance a yoke on your shoulders. And drop your chin a little. Not trying to tuck the chin, but again, most of us have a chin thrust habit, so you just drop it a little and bring your head backwards. Not lean your entire body back, but let's say somebody just put 2 fingers on your chin, and you're going to keep your collarbones wide while they just push your head back a little. So you might feel like you have a little double chin when you're doing this. That will go away. What you'll get is your head on top of your neck and really, really good integrity for your spine. All right, now take a deep breath. And we're going to coordinate the breathing with some of these adjustment movements. Very subtle movements, nice deep breath. So as you inhale through your nose, hear it in the back of your throat. Pull your collarbones nice and wide to accommodate your lungs opening for this deep inhale. And now as you exhale, again, your mouth is closed. You're breathing through your nose. You're hearing the breath in the back of your throat. You drop your chin a little. And when you're all the way at the bottom of your breath, hold it out for a moment and drop your tailbone down. And then tuck it up and under a little, as if it's pointing towards your belly. And inhale again. Pull your collarbones wide apart. And exhale. Keeping your collarbones wide, letting your chin drop, keeping your belly empty for a moment, dropping your tailbone down, and maybe tucking it under and up just a little bit. When you do that little tailbone tuck, it suddenly feels like you're sitting lighter on the floor, right? You're not pressed into the floor anymore. You're just a little lighter. Lightness feels wonderful and very soothing to your body and your nervous system. So inhale. Collarbones wide, your arms are limp, you feel your elbow tips sort of dropping towards your hips, your hands are totally relaxed. And exhale. Let your belly deflate, drop your tailbone down, lift your tailbone under a little. Now let's try another. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hear it in the back of your throat, right? You're making a very loud noise, like the ocean, like the inside of a seashell, like Darth Vader. I'm convinced that George Lucas must have been a yogi to give Darth Vader that breathing. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Now on this next inhale breath, I want you to sort of imagine or picture yourself letting yourself off the hook. Inhale, right? Sort of lifting yourself off that sharp hook. And as you exhale, just settle yourself down. All right, take a moment to sort of check in on that emotional scale and see where you are right now. Wherever you are, you are. This isn't a contest. It's not even a judgment. It's not even a contest with yourself. You know, some people like to say, well, I'm not really competitive with other people, but I'm competitive with myself. That's still competition. That's still a form of judgment against yourself and stress. And I'm going to tell you that I don't think it's doing you any good at all, especially in a practice like yoga, where your goal really is to soothe yourself. All right. So I feel inspired to some standing poses today. So first, I'm going to teach you a very easy way to stand. If you're sitting on the ground, if you're sitting on a cushion, you pull that cushion out from under you. Of course, if you're sitting in a chair, you know how to stand up. Simply put your feet on the ground and stand up. But if you're sitting on the floor, you might try placing your fingertips at your sides. Now make it your fingertips and not your palms. See, this is another really great tip. Try not to use your palms as pressure points, because that'll put pressure on your wrists, and your wrists aren't meant for weight bearing. If you've ever seen the anatomy of your wrist, it's a beautiful piece of machinery that's made to help you do this. But your fingertips. Now, if you press into your fingertips, you're going to feel your biceps tighten up. And biceps are great muscles for holding your body weight. So, you place your fingertips at your sides, press into your fingertips, place the soles of your feet on the ground, and see if you can simply press yourself up into a standing position. Now, if you tried and you can't, you're off the hook, right? Remember, right now in yoga, you are off the hook. Whatever you can do, you can do. Whatever you can't do, nobody's watching. Don't let the mind, right, this judgmental mind be the thing that watches you when nobody else is there to judge you. Stand in a standing Shavasana pose. Standing relaxation. So pull your collarbones wide again. Notice you can do this when you're sitting or standing, and you still have that same feeling of traction in the chest and opening in the lungs and release of the heart. So your arms are at your sides with your palms facing forward, and you're pulling your collarbones wide. And if you can really let your arms hang when you pull your collarbones wide, you're going to notice that where they come to rest is pretty far away from your body, right? They're only really close to your body when you're straining them. But go ahead and just let them be, right? Let your arms off the hook. Pull your collarbones nice and wide. Let your chin drop a little. Tighten your thigh muscles, your quads, right here. Now I'm touching them, but you keep your arms limp. So you tighten these thigh muscles, and you imagine you're trying to suck the thighs up into your hips. So you can feel this upward movement, this contraction in and then upward movement. And then you can push the inner edges of your ankle bones together, and you suddenly begin to feel lighter on your feet. Rotate your kneecaps in, mostly because many of us walk with a turnout, and the knee ligaments get twisted outward, and that really affects what goes on in your hips. But if you rotate the knees inward a little, what you'll be doing is turning these femur bones, settling them right back up into your hips in a way that really preserves your hips. Keep those inner edges of your ankle bones pressed. Keep your collarbones pulling wide. Notice if you feel lighter in your body. And remember, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. You're off the hook. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to start with pranayama, a standing deep breathing practice, focusing more on breathing and movement together. Now, this particular breath is really designed to open your lungs and settle your nervous system and really energize your body. So it's interesting how the same yoga pose can both soothe you and energize you. This is pranayama, standing deep breathing. Bend your elbows, clasp all 10 fingers together in a nice tight clasp, and then slide your knuckles up under your chin. I think if I give you the side view on this might be even better. A little bit of a side view, okay? So, knuckles are under the chin. Bring your chin down, right? Chances are good you probably just thrust your chin forward to get your knuckles under there. Now bring it down again. Bring your elbow tips in close to each other and pulling them down to your hips. Shoulders are down. Find a place to look at on the wall in front of you. Just keep your eyes stable there for now, and we'll begin. As you inhale, in through your throat, hear it in the back of your throat, in through your nose, your elbows lift to the ceiling. Your arms become like little wings at the side of your head. Your shoulders stay away from your ears. Suck your stomach in, tighten your thigh muscles up, rotate your kneecaps in, press the inner edges of your ankle bones together, drop your tailbone down slightly. Now exhale, open your mouth wide and make a big ha sound as you push your head back. It's like you're fogging up an imaginary mirror on the ceiling with your breath. And bring together your wrists, your forearms, and your elbow tips. Your arms are creating a kind of a pump that gets that stale breath out of the lowest lobes of your lungs. So inhale. Elbows apart and up. Palms are parallel to the ground. Shoulders are away from your ears. Stomach in. Thigh muscles tight and lifted. Drop your tailbone under a little. Take another breath. Exhale. Head back. Mouth open. Eyes open. Big ha sound through your open mouth. You're making that fogged up ceiling mirror as your wrists, forearms, and elbows squeeze together. Now pick your elbows up off your chest. Pull them forward. Inhale. Elbows apart and up. Shoulders are down away from your ears. So your elbows go up and your shoulders go down. You're having a little tug of war between the elbows and the shoulders. The elbows are going to go through the ceiling. The shoulders won't move at all. Stomach in. Thigh muscles tight and lifted. Rotate your knees in. Push the inner edges of your ankle bones together. Drop your tailbone down. Exhale. Open your mouth wide. Make that big ha sound, fogging up the mirror on the ceiling. Bring together your wrists, your forearms. Squeeze your elbows tight and now draw your shoulders forward. Last one. Inhale. Elbows go all the way to the ceiling and pull them a little behind your ears so it pulls your collarbones wide. Stomach in, thigh muscles tight and lifted, kneecaps turned in, tailbone drop down. Exhale. Head back, mouth open, eyes open. Bringing together your wrists, your forearms, and your elbow tips. Now squeeze your elbows tight and keep your mouth open, and let's just let all that stale breath come out. You're going to inhale when you absolutely have to, and notice how much exhaling you can do. Maybe it doesn't even feel like you're exhaling. It just feels like you're staying here with your mouth open, but you're not inhaling. This is allowing more and more stale breath to escape from the lowest lobes of your lungs. And then, if you haven't already, relax your arms down by your sides and take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Pull your collarbones wide. Really let your arms hang wherever they fall. Notice how relaxed you feel. You know, it almost really feels like you don't have arms. It's just a little bit creepy, but mostly it feels pretty good. All right. Here's one of my next favorite poses that used to be the pose I hated the most. So if you like it or don't like it, it's okay. You are where you are, but we're going to try it. Ardha Chandrasana with Padahastasana, half moon with hands to feet pose. Now this pose is so beautiful because it awakens your entire spine. It lets your spine move in ways that are very natural for you, but ways that we don't usually do in our old routine ways. right? When we have our old rituals and our old routine habits of going through our, to-do list day, we don't really move our spine in all the ways that it can move. And your spine is like a slinky, right? It's made to move, and it likes to move, and it feels good when it does. So let's give that a test. So coming into the pose, the first thing you'll do is activate your arms, pull your fingertips to the ground. So those arms that will loosen limp, now they feel really taut. And then inhale your locked arms up overhead. Clasp all 10 fingers together, pointer fingers up, thumbs crossed, palms pressed together. So even if you can't lock your elbows or lock your arms at this point, you can press your palms together, right? Everybody can put their palms together, or I shouldn't say everybody, right? If you can't, let yourself off the hook, but give it a try. Now stretch to the ceiling as if you want to touch the ceiling, and lean the weight into your heels. You can even lift your toes a little to make sure the weight is in your heels. Keep your head between your arms, and from this position, lift your breastbone to the ceiling, keeping nice and long. You're just going to very gently rock from side to side. So as you rock, pull to one side, you'll push your hip opposite. Keep your thighs locked, rotate it in with the knees. The weight is in your heels. You're leaning back a little bit, and you're just doing a very gentle rocking motion, but you are pulling your pointer fingers to keep your slinky long, to keep your spine really open as it moves. Right? Remember when you were a kid and you played with a slinky, how easily it moved if you just sort of allowed it? Well, that's what you're doing right here. Just rocking from side to side, but being aware of pulling from your pointer fingers and pushing your opposite hip. Pulling and pushing your opposite hip. And now come back to center. And as you inhale your breath, pull up again, feeling like those pointer fingers are just about to touch the ceiling. Your head stays between your arms as you lean into your heels, lock your thighs, push your hips forward, lift your breastbone towards the ceiling, hold your breath for a moment, and as you hold your breath, pull to the right. Now it's going to be the top back right corner of your room, not the side wall, so you're pulling a little behind you. And then as you exhale, allow your opposite hip, your left hip, to push to the left. So again, picturing a slinky, right? What happens when you make a slinky bend in the middle? It does it. It rounds. It doesn't pull against you. It feels really good. So inhale, pull from your pointer fingers, press your palms. See if you can squeeze your biceps to your ears, behind your ears. Your chin is a little off your throat. Lean into your heels, pushing your hips and thighs forward. And as you exhale, lean that hip to the left. So sort of pushing into the hip now feels good. Lean into it, push into it, and then release. Inhale back to center. Stretch to the ceiling. Feel your arms locked behind your ears if they do. If they don't, you're thinking about it. Making them lock isn't going to help, but allowing them to lock will. Lean back into your heels. Lift your chest. Hold your breath. And start. Now you'll pull to the opposite side, the top back left corner of your room. Be aware of a pulling feeling happening from your pointer fingers. Lock your thighs, rotate your knees in, and as you exhale your breath, let your right hip push to the right. So leaning that hip to the right. Stay right here. Inhale, pull from your pointer fingers. Press your palms together. See if you can move your arms a little behind your ears. Your chin is up off your throat. Your armpits and hips sort of feel square to the front. Lean the weight into your heels. Go ahead and exaggerate the lean. Lift your breastbone towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, let your right hip lean more to the right. So push, 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 and change. Inhale back to center. Now exhale, let your head drop back. You're going to be looking at your pointer fingers with your head dropped backwards. And inhale again, pull your pointer fingers to the ceiling and feel the pleasure of this stretch. And as you exhale, just begin moving your arms beside your ears. You're watching your pointer fingers draw this imaginary line across the ceiling. You keep your thighs locked and lifted. The weight is in your heels and your hips feel pushed forward. And as you inhale, you can lift your breastbone to the ceiling. And as you exhale, You can imagine those arms going all the way beside your ears. So here you are in a backward bend just by moving your arms. Remember, this is normal for your spine to be moving in this direction. Think slinky, right? It's normal. This is not a contortionist move. It's natural movement for your spine. And as you inhale, come back up to center. Bring your head back up between your arms. Pull to the ceiling, pull. And as you exhale, now you'll pull forward. Keep your head between your arms. You're going to be looking at the wall in front of you, pulling as if you want to touch it with your pointer fingers, getting this nice long length and slinky. And then when you're ready, you just let everything hang for a moment, bend your knees, place your palms to the ground. Hang your head looking for your own throat and begin to pedal your heels, left and right, left and right. Now watch your knees. Interestingly, when you pedal your heels, you might notice your knees flare out. But that's just because of the old habit of walking with a turnout on your feet. Now you can make those knees look like they're going to hit your nose. And you get to correct that old turnout. Feels much better. Hang your head really like you're looking for your throat. And then do a little bit of a knee bend and place your chest onto your thighs. Now from here forward, your chest and thighs are one piece. They are not going to separate. Reach behind you, and you can tuck your hands under your heels from behind with all 10 fingers pointing towards your toes if you can. Otherwise, you can place your palms on your calves with your fingers facing down. I'm going to go for the heels today. Look for your throat, tuck your chin. As you inhale, wrap your elbow tips behind you as if they're going to touch behind your calves. And as you exhale, tuck your chin, tighten your thighs, begin to lift the tail end of your slinky, your tailbone, towards the ceiling, and begin to press your face towards your shins by tucking your chin more towards your throat. So it'll look something like this. And then change. Bring your arms right away beside your ears with your pointer fingers leading. And then pull for that wall in front of you. Keep your head between your arms so your eyes come up to meet the wall when your arms are up by your ears. Stretch and reach for the ceiling and lengthen your spine and drop your arms. And there you are back in standing Shavasana. Inhale. Now, if you're not used to moving your slinky in all these directions, might feel a little achy today or tomorrow, but it's just like oiling something up, right? In the beginning, it's a little bit tight, but as you oil it up, it just comes back to its natural mobility. That's what's happening for you. But either way, whether you feel a little achy or not, you take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and somehow something inside of you just feels more like yourself. All right, let's play with a little standing balancing today. Dandayamana Janyusharasana, standing forehead to knee. So if what right away came up for you is I'm not good at balance, I don't have any balance, I'm really off balance, okay, let yourself off the hook. It is what it is. We're still going to play with it a little bit today. Maybe you'll get to see a different side of the balance that you think you don't have. Okay, so standing in Shavasana, starting from home base, right? This is your home base, your place of feeling really relaxed. Lock your left thigh. So you do that locking and lifting of the left thigh till your left leg feels like a tree trunk, a lamppost, really solid. Then bend your right leg up at the knee. I think again from the side might be better for you on these. Bend your right leg up at the knee. Your knee and hip are in a straight line. Oops, look at that spot on your wall, by the way. Pick a spot right now in front of you and keep your eyes there. Flex the sole of your lifted right leg. Suck your stomach in. Lift your chest to the ceiling. Round back with your arms a little like you have the whole world in your arms, big globe. And then as you exhale, you're going to swoop forward. And if you're new to this, all 10 fingers right here engaged at the 2 inches below the knee. But if you'd like to try something a little deeper, again, lifting from the chest, and when you swoop, you're going to engage all 10 fingers on the ball of your foot. And we're going to hold right here. So if you're holding at the knee, stand up nice and straight and pull your collarbones wide. Keep your standing leg locked by the thigh muscle being tight and lifted. And if you're holding at the ball of your foot, let your shoulders sort of droop forward. Keep your eyes on that point on the wall in front of you. And breathe. No matter which position you've chosen for balance today, you're breathing. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. Again, back of the throat. Now, if you're an experienced hot yogi and you'd like to go further in this pose, here's what it looks like. Nope, that's not what it looks like. That's what it looks like when you fall out of a pose. So you have a choice. You can stand in Shavasana, you can come back in. I'm coming back in. And then taking a little further. And now change. Bring your right leg down and stand in Shavasana for a moment. Inhale. Now, it's really important in these standing balancing poses not to bend your knee, right? Remember I told you about wrists? Knees are the same way, except knees don't rotate, but they are built for, helping you to do this, right? Helping you to move these joints. They're really not meant for weight bearing. We get into trouble with the knees when we ask them to do weight bearing for us. So, fortunately, right above the knee is one of the biggest muscles of your body, your quad, and you can really engage that and let the kneecap just set itself into place. It's not going to be used until you're ready to do some walking or bending. So you just let it set itself into place and sort of go to sleep. So let's try the other side. So now you're going to lock up your right thigh muscle. I'll give you this side view. And bend your left leg up at the knee. Flex the sole of your left foot. You're looking at that spot on the wall in front of you. That's your spot. Whatever spot you're looking at, that's the one. Suck your stomach in. Round it back a little bit. Lift your chest. And when you swoop, you make your choice. 2 inches below the knee, no problem. Ball of the foot, also no problem. If you're holding at the knee, stand up straight. Pull your collarbones wide. Lock your standing leg. If you're holding at the ball of your foot, let your shoulders droop. Let your upper body come down a little bit more. See if you can hammock your foot in your hands so you know you're really relaxed. And breathe right here, keeping your eyes on that point on the wall in front of you. In yoga, that point is called your drishti. It's that point that keeps you in balance. Now, if you'd like to go a little further, and again, I only recommend this if your standing leg is locked out solid, no bending, no shaking, no wobbling around, and maybe if you've been practicing at our studio for a while. You'll go to the full extension in this pose. And change. Bring that leg down and take a breath. Inhale. Now we're going to do some floor stuff. So, inhale, pull your collarbones wide. And feel what it feels like to have moved your body, having started from a place of calming your nervous system. And we started by taking deep breaths, checking in on where we actually are, and letting ourselves off the hook for not being someplace else. And just check in now as you take that deep breath. And as you exhale, turn your palms to the back wall and let your chin begin to drop. And let your arms begin to hang forward. Keep your chin tucking towards your throat and your arms hanging limp as you begin to curl that slinky downward. Keep it nice and slow, as if you're feeling every coil of the slinky separate until your fingertips come to the ground. And then tuck your chin towards your throat. With your fingertips on the ground, lean forward. Bend your knees. Let your knees lower to the ground. Uncurl your toes and sit back on your heels. Palms in your lap. If sitting on your heels isn't available to you, sit cross-legged and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Let your elbows pull down towards your hips. Let your collarbones pull wide across your chest. Drop your chin a little. Inhale. Exhale. Ardha Karmasana, half tortoise. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Hands in prayer. Press your palms together and pull. All the fingertips are up now. And again, if your arms don't lock, then they don't lock. Press your palms together. That's probably something you can do right now. Drop your tailbone a little down and under. And inhale, stretch a little more towards the ceiling. Now as you exhale, pull forward, keeping your head between your arms, pulling your fingertips into the wall in front of you. Let's give you the side view here. Keeping your hips on your heels. All of these things, checking in to see if they're possible. As you pull towards the wall in front of you, notice how much you can slow down this descent. You're using your back to do this, your lower back. Then let yourself come all the way down. The spot between your eyebrows is to the mat and just the blades of your pinky fingers. So do a little fishtail with your hands. Lengthen in your arms. And then press down into the blades of your pinkies and push your hips to your heels. Chin away from your throat. Eyes are open. And you're breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, pull the fingertips forward, press your palms together, and as you exhale, begin to pull forward from the fingertips and lift yourself back up. Head between your arms, palms pressed tight. Stretch for the ceiling when you're all the way up. Stretch, and then drop your arms down. And let's turn around now and lie down. Shavasana. So lying down on your back. Arms at your sides, palms facing up. Your heels touch, your toes flopped apart. I actually have no idea what you can see here in this. So we're just going to trust that you can see enough. But you know, if you don't see me doing these poses, you can just listen for the instructions. It's just as good. Inhale. Arms at your sides, palms facing up. Heels touch, toes flopped apart. Collarbones wide, chin down. Inhaling more. And as you exhale, relax your shoulders. Notice if the inhale pulled your shoulders up a little bit, right? You're just observing, not judging. And let your lower back drop. And inhale, bend your knees. Place the soles of your feet about 6 inches apart. So about 6 inches apart, and your feet are parallel like the letter H. And as you exhale, turn your palms to the ground and bring your arms under your body with your hips on your wrists or forearms. It's going to depend on your anatomy where those hips fall. And as you inhale, tuck your chin and begin to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Relax your hands under you. And as you exhale, tighten your quads, right? You're going to tighten and lift those quads. and begin to pull directly in front of you with your knees. So you tighten your thighs and you pull your knees towards the wall in front of you, and your hips will lightly lift up off your wrists. Tuck your chin and stay here kind of at half mast. You don't want to hyperextend your hips. You just want to feel this sort of inclined board that you've become. And as you exhale, lower down, hips to wrists. Relax your shoulders, pull your collarbones wide, squeeze your shoulder blades together under your body, and as you inhale, tuck your chin, tighten your thighs, and as you exhale, begin to pull your knees forward. Notice if your knees are tending to pull out to the sides a little bit, old habit. You can do a little pigeon toeing here, and that will help. Pulling your knees forward in front of you. Tuck your chin, and as you exhale, lower down slowly. Relax your lower back when your hips hit the wrists. And as you inhale again, tuck your chin. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Tighten your thighs. Point your knees forward. And as you exhale, pull your knees forward. Little bit of a pigeon-toed feet as your hips come up lightly. Notice your hands are really relaxed under your body. And as you exhale, slowly lowering down, hips to wrists. And then roll your arms out from under you and slide your legs out into Shavasana. Heels are touching, toes flopped apart. Tuck your chin, pull your collarbones wide, and inhale. Don't be afraid to balloon your belly out. And as you exhale, deflate the balloon, pulling your collarbones wide, and drop your lower back. It's as if there's a hand that gets slipped under the small of your back and you're trying to drop into it. Now inhale and bring your arms out to your sides in a T position with your arms. You can look from your shoulders to your fingers to really feel that your arms are straight. And walk your fingertips across the rug, feeling that stretch. Stretching is a really profound way of soothing yourself. Stretching feels like it's work or effort, but really it's profoundly settling and very satisfying. And as you exhale, bring your legs together, bend both knees, place the soles of both feet to the ground, and walk your heels in a little closer to your butt. Just walk them in little by little, feeling what that does to your spine, how much it gives you that little extra stretch, how satisfying that is. So inhale, squeeze your legs into one unit, squeeze them together. And then rise up off your heels, your arches, the balls of your feet, your toes, and draw your knees to your chest. And as your knees come to your chest, squeeze the legs tight and tuck your chin towards your knees. And as you exhale, drop both knees under your right armpit. Now keep your legs squeezed into one unit. Keep your collarbones pulling wide so your shoulder blades stay on the mat as your knees drop over under your right armpit. Now maybe your knees touch down and maybe they don't. But again, this is natural motion for your spine to be able to twist in opposite directions. Just relax your feet. Let gravity take over on your knees. So try not to hold your knees up in the air or force them down. Just be where you're going to be and let gravity take you the rest of the way. Whatever that rest of the way is for you today. Tucking your chin. As you inhale, squeeze your legs together into that one unit and bring your knees back to center. When your knees are at center, squeeze the legs tight and draw your chin towards your knees. And as you exhale, pull your collarbones wide apart, squeezing your legs into one unit. Drop both knees under the left armpit. Keeping your head steady and level, pulling from your collarbones. I don't know if you can hear all the cracking that's going on in my back. It feels great. Don't be afraid of those clicking sounds your body's making. Think of it as your body clicking into alignment. Just enjoy this stretch. Relax your feet. Relax your hands. Tuck your chin. Inhale. Squeeze your legs together. Bring them back to center. as you exhale, squeeze your legs together and drop them under the right armpit. Tuck your chin. You're looking at that wall in front of you. Just letting gravity pull on your knees. Try to keep your legs into one unit, squeezing them tight, pulling from your collarbones. You feel both shoulder blades closer to the mat, if not on the mat. And then inhale. Squeeze the legs together and bring them back to center. Tuck your chin towards your knees. As you exhale, squeeze the legs together and drop them down under the left armpit. Chin towards your throat. Gravity taking over. You're just allowing it to happen. And then inhale, knees to center. And as you exhale, bring your arms in close to your body. Bend your elbows. Wrap your arms around your knees and grab whatever's available. Wrists, fingertips, forearms, elbow tips. Tuck your chin towards your throat and pull your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your feet. Inhale. And exhale. Give a little press. Pressing your knees to your chest. Tucking your chin towards your throat. And then inhale, release your arms, keep your knees where they are. Bring your hands into prayer position in front of your chest. Pull your elbows in close to your body and down to your hips, tucking your chin. And as you exhale, roll over onto your right or left side. I'm going to choose the left so I can be facing you. Keep it slow. And then take a moment to lie here. Palms together. Place your hands underneath your cheek. Tuck your chin all the way into your throat. Bring your knees up to your elbows. Bring that one elbow tip over your body so it's on the ground. And take a breath here. Relax your feet. Inhale. And exhale. And now turn your palms to the ground. You're going to be looking at the backs of your hands. Very gently press or roll over, very little weight in your hands as you push yourself back up into your seated position. And take a breath. So find a comfortable seated position for yourself. Could be hips to heels, could be lotus position, could be cross-legged. Maybe you want to put yourself back in your chair. It's all fine. Take a breath right here. Inhale, pull your collarbones wide, lean back a little bit, drop your chin a little bit, and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Let's move into a little bit more profound breathing with alternate nostril breathing. This is a really beautiful way to settle your nervous system, to balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain. Bring your right palm to your face and bend in your first finger, second finger, and pinky finger, keeping your ring finger and thumb out. Draw your hand towards your face and with your thumb, close off your right nostril and inhale through your left. With your ring finger, close off your left nostril, hold your breath. Release your thumb, exhale right. Inhale right. Pinch and hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Pinch and hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Pinch and hold. Exhale left. And then release your right hand down. Take a full breath. Inhale. And exhale. So just notice what you're feeling. You know, we did some stretching and balancing today. You might feel a little bit sore in a good way. You might feel a little bit proud of yourself in a good way. Try not to, you know, if you feel a little judgmental of yourself, just notice it. And, right, for today, you're off the hook. Whatever you do, whatever doesn't get done, whatever you think you could have done better, off the hook. All right. So hopefully you feel a little bit more like yourself, and you come to recognize that feeling like yourself is synonymous with feeling good, feeling soothed. That's you, back in your home base, feeling this wonderful life that you have to live. This body is part of it. The breathing is part of it. The nervous system is part of it. Everything that you experience around you, it's all part of it. And you can experience it from this place of feeling soothed. And I really advise you to, before you take any action, and especially if you're starting to feel that you're activated, pull yourself back into 3 deep breaths, then take the action. Chances are so good that any action you take from this place of feeling soothed and like yourself will turn out in the way that you want it to. And the opposite is also true. You know, if you take action from a place of being activated, it's not really you. You know, it's this very activated being that's bringing itself into the situation. So you always want to be yourself. You always want to take action as yourself. And you're going to notice that the reward is immediate. You just feel more empowered. And then the results that you get from taking action from a soothed point of view will always be more productive. Will always be closer to the results you actually want, if not exceeding the results that you want. You know, yesterday I was doing the morning class, I think it was, the soulful stretching. And just prior to that class, I had a very activating interaction with a couple of different entities. And I left it off with sending them an email and leaving a voicemail. And I came to the class very activated. Really, I put myself up at like a 7 or 8. Maybe more like an 8 or 9. But in any case, I did notice, you know, as the class went on, I began to feel calmer. I began to feel more like myself. I began to recognize myself again. I noticed as I was teaching, I'm using my iPhone, and little messages were coming across to me from email and from phone calls coming in from these other entities. And one of my first impulse was that I really needed to take that call. But because I had already calmed down a little bit, I was really able to pull back and say, nope, I'm going to stay right where I am. I'm going to continue breathing and stretching and soothing myself. And I will deal with the situation at some other time. When the class ended, I did check my email. I waited a little bit. I breathed a little more. I had a lot of water. By the way, I'm a very big fan of drinking a lot of water. I advise you to do it. But when I did come back and check the emails, it turns out the situation resolved itself. There wasn't anything that I needed to do. The people on the other end sort of recognized that they had made some kind of an error and sent me something inadvertently. And so the situation was a non-situation. So, am I saying that soothing yourself and calming yourself and practicing yoga and having a practice that makes you feel like yourself can solve situations without your intervention? Yeah, sometimes. And if you do need to intervene, that intervention will be beneficial for you and for everybody else involved. You cannot go wrong being yourself, and breathing will bring you back to yourself. Om Shanti. Peace. Thank you for joining me today. I love to say this at the end of class. I do this practice for myself. This is my practice. I feel like myself when I'm doing it, and after I do it, I'm sharing it with you. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get to feel that the rest of your day can actually be different now. It can be within your control to be yourself as you move forward into whatever this day is going to present to you. See you soon. By the way, I should note that we are doing full sessions of yoga here. We have a full schedule here on Facebook Live. All of the teachers of Riverflow Yoga are offering yoga classes. Sometimes it's hot yoga, soulful stretching, blissful warrior, yoga nidra, and we're adding more all the time. You can check our live schedule on our website at riverflow-yoga.com/schedule. And you can see when these classes will be taking place, or they can just pop up on your Facebook feed. I hope to see you soon.